You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour, whiskey, cigars, spirits, and the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matthew Fox.
And we are once again at the Ambassador Cigars.
Here we are.
We are uninvited.
We are so uninvited.
Unannounced.
We are invading spaces.
Incapable. No, it's...
I'm capable.
I ran out of U's. I usually do a whole array of views. Matthew, are you a little freaked out because there's like this big man mountain sitting next to us?
Yeah, like a short mountain.
But it's a nice looking mountain.
Dude, you are a big hunk of man sitting next to us there.
So.
We want to introduce our guest today because we were sitting here, we were recording. Like we do, we just walk in and set up cameras. And the beautiful thing, Paul, here's the thing. Just pretend you're putting on a podcast.
Yeah, easy.
And then say, hey, I want to drink of this, and then they give you a really nice pour.
Oh, yeah.
We're not really recording or anything.
No,
We're just getting really healthy
I like
pours.
your strategy. I usually have my computer. I'm going to start doing that.
Paul was like watching us do the podcast, and so we stopped and we started talking.
Yeah.
And Paul has an absolutely fascinating story.
He does.
So we have a bunch of stuff to do on the Man Cave today. We're going to talk about an interesting whiskey. And a really cool guy with a very fascinating story.
Oh.
So that's what we have lined up on the Man Cave for today. Matt, what's in the glass though? What's on tap?
Our juice for this evening. We're actually doing something we have never done before.
Yeah, that's the taste, right?
Just the taste. We try something we've never done. We talk about how we feel about it, our own opinions. But today, we're going to venture down a little bit of Knob Creek.
Okay.
We're going to see what Mr. No has in store for us.
All right.
That's N-O-E.
The No family. Okay.
The No family. So that's what's on store.
Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Yeah, everyone's sniffing right now.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna be tasting that. I was gonna have some facts, but I'm not even gonna do that because I want to talk to Paul. Like I said, Paul.
Yeah.
You came in. We're doing this, and you're like, hey, that sounds interesting. So I'm trying to do some stuff. So, Paul, you're a military guy.
Yes.
What branch of the military are you?
Okay, so Army. I'm National Guard guy now. Was with the Special Forces unit and Specialized Infantry unit called LURS.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's two things I did. Spent, a couple tours overseas, getting prepped for a third one.
Yeah, so you said you've spent like 36 months overseas already?
It will be when I'm done with this third tour. So.
Oh, man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So stay safe, please.
Oh, yeah,
and
of course.
Thank you for what you do.
Thanks for the support back at home, everybody. We appreciate it.
It's astounding. And that's kind of because you're starting a YouTube channel. You've been doing things on Facebook.
Yep.
And you said, hey, guys, I have a podcast. I kind of want to do that. I want to share these ideas. So that's kind of what you want to do is because getting support, right?
Right.
And feeling supported.
Yeah.
Because military guys sometimes feel less than supported, and then sometimes it doesn't end well.
Well, exactly. So that's what I was kind of talking about off camera was the suicide rate,
Yeah.
And so what my channel is, it's called the 5% Understanding Sexual Dynamics. So that's YouTube.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how do they find it on YouTube?
So just search the 5%, the number 5% symbol.
Okay.
Understanding Sexual Dynamics.
All right. So what is 5%? How's that? What is that?
So it's an estimation that only about 5% of monogamous relationships are happy and work out, which unfortunately...
Well, I mean, just the regular, divorce rate was like, 25%, 50%, 60%. It's like, so just the regular divorce rate. And with the military, I'm sure it's even higher than that 60%.
Right. Yeah, so divorce rates are pretty high. And then what we call... the happiness rates are even worse. So, divorce rates are approaching 60%, but you can take that, we can estimate whether it's happy or not based on, I hate to use this, but sexual activity is basically what it is.
Sure.
And so sexless marriages make up over half of the ones that last 45%. So you're down to maybe, 22% that are considered happy, that are, not necessarily sexless marriages, but it's just the idea of 5% is that we want to try to make have the most optimal, best relationship we can. We want to be in the top 5%, right, for our income, for our career, for things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, top 1% if we can, but and that's just kind of where that came from. But it was this idea that when you start breaking it down, there's just so many people unhappy right now.
Yeah.
And that's civilians, it's military people. There's guys that are they're not able to get into relationships. There's females that are not able to get into the relationship they want. And when they get into it, they find out that they're not happy in it. So that's what we're trying to do.
Well, that's got to be weird because you go, wait, and how long, when you go on a tour, and it's not like one of my students who's like touring with like Ted Nugent is on tour.
It's not,
your tour is serious.
Sure.
And so you're gone, and you're gone for how long?
Yeah, so it depends. I mean, it depends on what unit where you're at. But I mean, when I go, it's 9 to 12 months.
Wow.
I mean, depending on what it is. That's not including 2 and 3 week trainings here and there, schools that could be a month or two long.
So I mean, you're talking a year and a half, and you haven't been home, you haven't seen your girl, your wife, whatever the case might be. That's weird. You come back after a year. It's like, hey, let's get freaky, and it's like, it's almost like a first date all over again.
Right. It can be. So how to maintain what we call frame, which is basically as the man, you're leading that relationship. Most relationships, that is the preferred sexual polarity, is that the male is leading. Okay. That's what most females prefer. I mean, minus a 1 to 2% anomaly, and so it's hard to maintain frame in that leadership when you're not there for a year.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So how can you do that? And so it's through communication and also setting up a series of values that they can get behind. So one thing that was lost over time here is sets of values, societal values. Religion kind of protected that for a little while. I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but religion protected those values, and now those kind of eroded. The female evolutionary psychology has told us a lot. For 190,000 years, we didn't live past 25, 30 years old.
Right, yeah, okay.
So the male and female optimal mating strategy that we evolved with up until the last 12,000 years was pretty productive when you died at 25.
Yeah. Right.
But now that we're living to 75, 80, you know what I mean? We have to redirect those drivers.
Sure.
So females tend to be very opportunistic in their mating strategy and very almost short-term thinking. So you go away for a year, that's really problematic.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so mate switching, cheating, all of those things are going to be in their hindbrain drive.
And these things all feed into that suicide rate and the depression and unhappiness. And and so these Facebook posts that you create, the YouTube videos and the podcasts you want to do. So what's the message that you're trying to get out there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of messages, you know what I mean? It depends, but I mean, it's really just not settling for less than what's going to be optimal and what's going to make you happy.
Okay.
So a lot of males get trapped into the plow horse mindset, the self-sac, because as sexual strategy as males, we are, disposable.
Sure.
We have been throughout history. We're the ones who go to war. We're the ones who, women and children get on the boat and we're sinking with the ship, and so there's a reason we're disposable. We don't carry the baby, right? And so our genetic drive to want to propagate the species makes us protect women, or want to have a drive for that. We want to protect the children, which is good and everything, but then we tend to see ourselves as disposable. So guys will get into relationships and sacrifice and work 2 jobs and do a lot of things that are not making them happy.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah. And then they show up.
2 jobs.
Right.
Two jobs?
Right.
Yeah. I got 5.
And it's okay, if you're on your purpose and doing what you want, but they're doing a lot of things they don't want to self-sacrifice for the family, that then they're not present at home, and they're not, it's like you're always feeling like you're falling short because you're doing things for somebody else. So you got to do things for yourself first as your own mental point of origin. When you're more stable and happy and on your purpose as a man, you're going to be a better partner for your woman and a better dad.
So you're a very male-centric view here.
That's the male side of it.
And so you said
there's female side of it too,
historically, very true.
Mm-hmm.
The military is changing. There's a lot more females in active roles and in those dangerous places, gone from their mates and their spouses for long periods of time. Females finding the same thing. Is what the message you're sharing? Is it does it work for the ladies as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. I, as far as coaching clientele, about 20. Although it's a male-driven channel,
Sure.
I mean, I'm male, so that's kind of what ended up happening there.
Yeah,
But about 25% or so of my clients are females.
Okay.
They're tired of being placated to and lied to.
Sure.
It's like, it's we tell females that they're the greatest because they're pretty. And they show up and they haven't earned anything. They haven't actually had to do the work, and we tell them how great they are and how awesome they are because of how pretty they are.
Yeah.
And that's what we do as guys, because
Sure.
our mating strategy is, of course, to spread seeds. So we see a pretty girl and we're like, "You're so smart. Tell me more." And she's like, "An idiot," or whatever. And so they get conditioned. Unfortunately, society will condition them to not
Sure.
have to, not have to earn things, to show up and work
Right.
hard and achieve stuff, and then it becomes a problem.
So ladies in the military can get something out of these videos, and these
ladies and
these-
civilians can, I mean, they're having what
Yeah.
I'm usually working with women on is
Depression is such a pervasive thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what? Robin Williams is like the funniest freaking man, most brilliant person I know, and it was like, oh my gosh, and he took his life.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's all these hilarious, funny people, and
Sure.
it's like the sadness that's underneath that sometimes shows itself, sometimes doesn't. Yeah, it's
As a husband, for the past 19 plus years, I've been able to do a lot of things that I've wanted to do because
Yeah.
of the support that I've had from my wife.
oh yeah, no question
And
that's
one of the
good.
things,
Yeah.
when you're building out a relationship, is to have that support.
Yeah.
And work together. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time to build
takes work, right.
that foundation together.
And so that's a big part is, there's a tendency because of short-term strategies that are now promoted with things like social media
Sure,
and a lot of the values that are being promoted now, where people give up too easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're not able to see the fruits of the hard work and staying in a long-term relationship. When you're living to be 75, 80 years old, right? It's much better to have a partner that you grow old with, that you're very happy with most of the time.
Yeah.
You might have, though, even
No relationship is perfect.
exactly.
There's
I can take you could probably relate, but anyone I talk
Very
to,
much.
19, 20 year relationships, you've gone through periods. You probably went through periods of months, 2 to 6 months, where things got really dark and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work, and you have to start changing your strategy, right? But at least you're getting through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're
will this
actually
work, or
not
will I be
giving-
alive in the morning?
Yeah. You're not giving up though.
She's watching a lot of.
Yeah, Colleen doesn't watch.
NCIS.
so
She's
it's
watching
okay.
a lot
Yeah,
of those.
She's watching way
Figuring
too
out how
much
to
of
hide the
murder
body and all
things.
that.
Deadly
Yeah.
women. Oh God, here we go.
Well, that's great. So,
Yeah.
so as you move forward with the YouTube videos, and you're gonna morph into a podcast,
Yeah.
just let us know, and we'll let people know about it.
Yeah, we'll cross-promote
And
too.
so, what
This
what
is
is
really
what's the name of it again, so people can find it?
Yep, it's the 5% understanding sexual dynamics.
Okay.
Yep.
And so we'll link that down and everything too.
Cool.
So now one thing people should turn to, not alcohol. Good advice, good listeners, something to turn to.
Then the alcohol.
Because
then
no ever good conversation came out of, hey, have you tried this salad
have
yet?
you- yeah.
Exactly.
But we're turning to alcohol because we want to try some Knob Creek. And what do we call up, Matt? So
We called, we're doing the Knob Creek, we're doing the Single Barrel Reserve this
All right.
evening. So the No family, N-O-E, the
okay.
No family.
Yes.
So when Prohibition
Famous
was,
family.
when Prohibition was lifted in 1933, whiskey makers had to start from scratch, is what it comes down to.
All right.
So Knob Creek has been around for a very long time. The No family has been doing this. It's very family oriented. They brought real bourbon back over 25 years. Master distiller Booker No set out to create a whiskey that adhered to the original time-tested way of doing things the right way.
Okay.
The right way. So, and he named it Knob Creek. So every batch is done in charred barrel, maximum charred barrels for at least, I believe, 9 years.
Wow.
Even this one has got to be a minimum of 9 years.
Really?
That it's in that charred barrel. So it gets more of that sweetness, more of that oak flavor out of the barrel.
Not
itself.
as dark as the
Not
first
as-
time around.
No, not as.
We did one earlier.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And this is nice. The color on this is nice
Yep.
golden.
Yep.
It's not super dark. It's a nice golden color.
It's a very nice golden flavor. It's a nice. It's a light tan.
Yeah.
almost, right.
Yeah. Where are we at on? All right, keep going.
No, you're good. So it's gonna be full flavored.
Keep hitting the.
But we're not cutting any corners here either. So,
Okay.
So let me get to where we need to be here. So the single barrel.
Single barrel. Yeah, we're playing in a single with just one tub for everybody.
So it's a pre-prohibition style bourbon, is what this is.
Oh, okay.
All right. So they wanted to try to really go back to the roots.
All right.
When it comes down to. So it's going to be an old style flavor. So it's unblended. Each bottle remains unblended, so it's not mixed with any other juice.
Okay.
Right. So it's going to be just the single thing. Single juice itself. If you want to create your own,
Yeah.
you could do that too.
I think because we're here at
your own flavor profile.
Ambassador Cigar,
flavor.
and they're always so cool that we just come in and set our crap up and start screwing around. I think they have like a couple special bottles here as well.
Yeah, this is not.
So
This
no,
is not.
because we wanted to get the one that we could get notes on and compare.
So they actually they char their barrels. They do a 4-char.
4-char.
Four
I have
char.
not heard
Yeah,
4-char
they
before.
do like
Tell
a
me,
four.
what does that mean?
They torch the white oak barrels to a level 4 char to draw out rich vanilla and caramel notes
Okay.
for the single barrel that
All right.
reserve here. So a little bit different. It's 120 proof.
Okay.
So a little bit more-
120. All
yeah,
right. So
120 proof.
yeah, we tried one earlier today
Sounds good to me.
at
Yeah.
80 proof.
Yeah, we did 80 proof earlier. So
Paul,
we-
when you're drinking a bourbon or a whiskey, what do you look for? What do you like?
Well, my description is probably not going to be as good
No,
as
I
you
mean
guys,
we're reading
but-
off the fucking internet.
Right.
Don't
All right,
be
cool,
impressed.
cool. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed already. I mean, I look for I like a smooth finish.
Okay.
You know, so I don't like it to not finish well. So
Okay.
All right.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of the main thing I look for.
Yeah.
I mean,
So when I'm nosing,
Is there something that you turn to? Is there something you go to?
you know, I like Wellers a
Okay.
lot. That's probably my
Yeah.
favorite.
You're not alone.
That,
man.
now that's weeded. Those are that's a weeded bourbon,
Right.
Or weeded whiskey.
Wait,
Yep. Yeah.
Because not a bourbon because it's got to be corn.
Right.
So
and just
we're
simple
learning.
everyday
well, here's the
drink
thing about the
is-
Man Cave
yeah.
Happy Hour. If you're thinking that we know what we're talking about,
We haven't the slightest
we don't.
clue what we're doing.
We're learning
The
it.
premise, the
That's good.
premise behind the Man Cave Happy Hour
Yeah.
is that we're kind of novices,
Sure.
but we enjoy it and we want to learn, and that's why we pull in experts.
cool.
Like we were just talking to Neil, Giraldo, and
Well done.
yeah,
Well
and
done.
no, I had him, and I said his name wrong, and he was like,
That
"You're kind
sucks.
of a dick," and I'm like, "Sorry, Niall." But so we had him, and then one of the guys from Jack Daniels, we had him on talking about it. So and then like a lot of the product reps to teach us, so we can learn. So we don't really know, and that's kind of why we're fumbling through it, and that's kind of the premise behind the Man Cave is that we kind of learn as we go through,
Right.
and hopefully we can get something going.
Sure.
So, smelling good though. So what are we supposed to be smelling, man?
What we're supposed to, well, I'll get to there in a second, but as I'm nosing
Oh, we were
on
going
this-
to. I'm sorry, I got
Yeah,
off
no.
track. Your go-to. What's your go-to? Is there a
what's your
go-to?
go-to?
So
Wellers.
my go-to,
Wellers.
Wellers,
Is it
or I'll
weeded?
go with, which is more of a whiskey, but like Jack Daniel's single barrel or a
Nice.
gentleman's.
Have
Yeah.
you had
All
the
right.
Frank?
Ooh, the
have you had
gentleman
the
Jack.
Frank yet?
The Sinatra.
I've not
Select?
had the Frank yet.
Oh,
Is that good?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll put that on the list.
Yeah.
put that on the
I'm
list.
like Buffalo Trace. I
Buffalo
love
Trace is
Buffalo
good
Trace.
though. It's pretty
It's
good.
crazy. I just love Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the real nice thing about the climate on this is that it's aged in Clermont,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
That's where it's aged at.
Okay.
In Clermont. But the age of it, like I said, it's aged for a minimum of 9 years.
Right.
So it might sit a little bit longer than 9 years. I mean, it just depends on the stock and the supply and demand of it all. So,
Sure.
So that's really, I'm trying to get to something else here on the in the intranets. The
Intranets.
intranets here. So you're in the Army.
Yes.
All right.
Now reserve status,
Reserve
and
status, yep.
National Guard or whatever. Sure.
Excellent.
Out of Illinois. Right now.
At Illinois.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
I gotta plug in.
And you were just
Yeah.
in Poland. You were just in
guys keep
Poland
going.
not too long
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. So I was picked with a couple other non-commissioned officers to go to Poland and train their territorial army,
Okay.
which is kind of like our National Guard.
Okay.
And they have they just started that a couple years ago. So we're the first trainers to go in. I was a tactical trainer with a partner of mine, and we had a great time. I made a good impact. They're good. They're good too. Like their trainers there, they got their they got their shit together. They know what they're doing.
Fantastic.
So it was a pleasure working with them. And
Very nice.
the culture there is amazing too. So I had a great time there. I don't think I slept for a week. It was amazing. Yeah.
You getting juice there, Mr. Flanagan?
Getting it?
All right.
All right. Oh yeah, sure. No, I got you.
All right. Just trying to get to a quick little profile here.
Oh.
No, it's in.
It's
This
in.
is a dead outlet.
Oh,
We
yeah,
ran
those
into
outlets
that
don't work.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right, so we'll make this quick.
Yeah. Well, he's got 8%, 7%. He'll be all right.
Hey, man. This is called professionalism.
Exactly.
It's called a podcast,
It's a
right?
podcast.
We
This
have
is what we
fun,
do.
things happen.
Right.
You can't make
Just
make
unplug
anything-
that TV. If they say anything, I'll tell them to go pound sand. We're busy. There we go. Yeah, throw that in there.
Hey, look at that.
That's right.
The glorious thing, though,
Yeah.
when it actually goes up. Sorry, Facebook world, but this could get edited out, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, but why? It's fun. We just take over the entire establishment. That's okay. I'm a member here, though. They have
Yeah.
to be nice to me.
Oh, hey, that's it.
I don't really have to, but they are nice to me, though.
All right, what else we got? We haven't even tried this bloody thing
No, we
yet.
haven't
No.
yet. So,
Been sniffing it.
we've been sniffing a lot of it, so it's going to be a little brilliant. It's going to be a little brilliant Auburn, look to it. It's got some slow leg. You talk about the legs every once in a while when you let it float around the glass. So it's got some slow legs, but the palate, you're going to notice a little bit of body on it. Being 120 proof, it's going to have a little bit of heat behind it too. So you're going to get a little bit of a spice when you taste it for the first time. So, Paul, Jamie, let's take a drink. Shall we?
So
Cheers.
Sean, the owner here at
Cheers.
Ambassador, chimed in,
Yeah.
and he was like backseat driving. He's like, "It's aged whiskey barrels."
There it is. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
For a minimum of 9 years. Wow. So yeah, that's got a nice body to it with some heat on the back end.
It definitely
Like I said,
says
This
heat.
is we did a lighter. Cause Matt and I will record a couple at a time.
Yeah.
We tried to do the lighter ones 1st. Yeah, good thing we didn't do this first.
Oh, yeah.
Zowie.
Woo.
Yeah, there's something going on in here.
I always like to chill mine a little bit, throw one ice in there.
Well, and they
We-
say
that's the
a little
thing.
bit of water will open it up, and you get a little more flavor notes out of it that way.
Yeah.
too.
Do you know
That's
the
how I like
best
mine.
way to drink a bourbon?
How I usually do it is one big, cool ice cube.
It's the way you like it.
That's how I like it.
That is
There
exactly.
you go.
It was a trick
Yeah.
question. No, because people get all snobby and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but the best way to drink a bourbon or whiskey.
I just know well I do it. I don't know how about anybody else does it.
Fuck yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul's got it.
That's right, So it reminds me, like,
Yeah, you might
try to trade a few.
You added some water to that, a little ice cube. You
Just,
might
yeah,
you,
one
you,
ice
you might get a little bit of flan out of that, or a little bit of waffle little out of that. Now that you did that, Is that us?
Did I break something?
I don't
No,
think
it's
so.
not. It's them over there. We're good.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So yeah,
That's good. A little chillier. That's good.
Yeah.
A little bit more flavor now.
Yeah, and well, that's
Little
the thing
less,
with the oils, and it like you get a little bit of water and a little bit of ice that opens it up.
Right. It's good.
So what are you getting, Matt?
wow.
It is stronger. It is definitely stronger.
My palate always goes right to the caramel
Mm-hmm.
of it because that's just my mantra. Apparently, I taste the caramel in everything. 'Cause I
you can
enjoy
taste it in
caramel.
this for
Yeah.
sure.
Are you getting ethanol in it?
I'm getting a little bit of ethanol.
I'm getting that.
I'm good. But here's the thing: it's just because it is a higher proof.
Yeah, that's where the ethanol I'm coming from is.
Yeah, but it's not overpowering.
right.
No,
Yep.
it's fairly sweet though. It's got
Yep.
a sweet feel to it.
It's
really.
that caramel.
Yeah, it's got that sweet.
How's this mix with your Red Bull you're drinking earlier?
Well,
Yeah.
Someone
I'm
actually said
messing
they
with you.
tasted pencil shavings in
Pencil?
it at one point.
pencil shavings.
Yeah, those are the folks that have that palate where like, hey, I taste leather. Hey, I got an orange peel. Great.
But there was
good for
one-
you.
Cool descriptive.
We were
descriptive stuff,
doing-
I just,
We were doing something recently, and I was like, "Oh my god, no! This tastes." Oh no! I was drinking grappa. Have you ever had grappa?
No, I've never had grappa.
Ay 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 ay.
You were with Dave, I believe.
I was with Neil.
Oh, you were Neil. Oh,
I was with
Hi, Neil.
the guys from Three Chord and Neil, and we were at this bar in Ann Arbor, and the owner came down, and Neil, the Three Chord guys, and Neil, they're going to do a grappa, And I'm like, what the hell's a grappa? It's a grape based thing,
Right.
So more in the wine family, and they're like, well, it either tastes like jet fuel or kerosene. I'm like, oh well, that sounds great.
amazing.
No, it's awful.
Just kidding.
And then the owner
Joke.
and the owner, we were down in the basement there waiting for the event to start, and the owner was just like pouring up. The owner there at Sirius in Ann Arbor. Have you ever been to Sirius in Ann Arbor?
No.
It's a cigar martini or
Oh,
cigar
Yep.
bar.
Yep.
Great place. But the owner's super generous, and he like poured up like 5 glasses for each one. He poured like 3 different bottles, poured out 3 samples for everybody that was hanging out down there. And it was like, but the one smelled like, and I couldn't remember what it was, and then it came back to me. It was like saddle leather, back because when I was like in my teens, and my sister was into horseback riding,
Right.
and just that smell in the barn of barnwood and the saddle leather.
Yep.
And that smell and that aroma, and that's what it was. Didn't taste like that. It tasted like kerosene ass. But it had that smell into it. But I've never, because people like a lot of times in the whiskey notes, they'll be like, oh, it smells like, shoe leather, saddle leather, pencil shavings.
Sure.
I never get that, but I got it out of that grappa. That is like,
Right.
because that stuff is rocket fuel.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's, But I'm not getting, you said, were you getting a pencil shave?
I wasn't, but I
Oh.
was just looking at some tasting
notes?
tasting profiles, some reviews of it, and they were getting some of that pencil shaving out of it.
I can see like the wood part maybe, but not. It's still more. It's like a lot of caramel and then ethanol, and I guess that's
those pencil shaving guys
'Cause
out
it's
there.
strong.
They've trained their palate that
No
way.
shame
Sure.
in the game,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Gotta throw
or at
some
least
ice in
they've
this
found
bad
a
boy.
descriptive way of saying it. I don't know.
Right. So the price points for a Knob Creek for the single barrel that we're
Sure.
doing today. If you're out in the market, it's about $50. Depending on where you shop at, depending on what state you live in, but it's around the $50 mark.
Right.
If you look at the 25th anniversary of it, it's a little bit more expensive. It's a couple $100, but
Right.
for just a bottle of it, you're looking at about $50. So
Fair.
Jamie, I'm going to ask you: kill, marry, or screw? Are you gonna never do it again? You gonna take it home? Or
There's
you just
so many
gonna-
bourbons in the world to try.
Yeah.
Now that I threw some ice on this, because normally when I drink one, I'll get it with like a big cube or the ball. So I'll usually do it on the rocks, and it's a little more palatable.
Yeah.
Because that 120 proof is
It's up there.
It's got some legs.
Yeah.
They're slow legs, but
As I got the I would do it out and about. I definitely do Knob Creek.
you'd marry it. Bring it home.
I'd screw it. I'd do it out and about.
I wouldn't marry
out
it.
the back.
This would
Marry it,
be
I
a
wouldn't take it
side
home.
chick right here.
So kill, marry, screw. Kill, never do
So
it
you
again.
can say that.
I
Marry,
can
take one
say
home.
whatever I want, but guess what? See, if I was in a long-term relationship, which I've been in long-term relationships before, I could still say whatever I want because she knows exactly what
I don't
mean.
have a girlfriend.
She knows.
I just
You
know
know
a
what I
girl
mean? If I'm with
who'd be
somebody,
really
she
pissed off
knows.
that I said that.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It's like
The power of persuasion. No, Paul, it is an absolute pleasure. So happy we ran into you. this evening,
I ran into you guys. This is great what you guys are doing. I think it's
no,
awesome.
I appreciate it. So,
Right, a lot of fun.
as we launch it, we're launching a podcast studio. So, as we do that, we want to invite you in to record.
Oh, yeah.
And
Be awesome.
hang out. We'll help you however we can because I think the message you're getting out there. There's a lot of guys and gals coming home that need an ear or need
Well, a
someone
lot of
to
people
They need
talk
someone to
at
listen. They need
home.
someone that's going to
Yeah,
listen to them
that's-
and kind of help
that are
them.
here.
Right, right.
Just am I crazy? It's like, well, yeah, but
Yes,
we
but
all
find
are.
your own brand of crazy to partner with.
and let's get through it.
Yeah.
Let's get through it together
Be-
somehow.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Well, and that's even like a lot of like today. I did a 50-minute video. It'll launch on YouTube. I going through my routine for state management, state being emotional and mind state management. As a man, that's such a critical skill set to have because your woman is generally going to rely on you for your emotional stability and your security. And so when you are faltering and not providing that, it throws her off. When you show up with a weakness, she sees that as a strength that she now has to bring to the table. And that can throw her off and make her feel less drawn to you. And as men, we want our woman to be drawn to us. And when we're not on our center and not on our purpose and not feeling emotionally stable or whatever, they start to get repelled from us, and that's when the nagging happens, and some of the fights will happen, and maybe a little bit less affectionate, and all the things that they're not as happy. We're not as happy. So managing your emotional and mental state's critical. It is with veterans, but it's with civilians too.
Sure.
So running through that routine, to how to do that using mixture. I'm a theist, so I do a church thing and I do my meditation and stuff there.
Okay.
But if you're not a theist, it still works as far as brain science is concerned. You know what I mean?
All churches are just they're corrupt, and it's money, and it's like I believe your religion. I believe in God, and
sure.
I don't necessarily believe
it's
in
not. I take a secular
church,
approach too. By the way,
the institutions not so much.
Well, I take
faith
right.
and spirituality.
Christianity is
cheers, man.
Yeah. Well, I take a secular approach because I don't want to alienate anybody.
Sure.
So I don't want to get into a debate over which denomination, which whatever. I want everybody to have the ability to be happy in their relationships. So I'm taking a science-based approach, but it does meld with if I'm talking about state management related meditation type practices, well, you're going to do it differently if you're a Christian versus if you're an atheist or secular humanist or some other religion, you know what I mean? But the benefits from a brain chemistry standpoint at least can be seen regardless of that. So I don't want to and same thing, communicating with a woman is going to be it's some universalities there regardless of your religion, so I don't want to alienate people, but you can pretty much take the principles and take what you like from it, plug it into your faith or belief system, and it makes it easier too. Having a faith or belief system is easier.
Thank you for your service.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing now, and you're serving again, dude. You're crazy. Oh my God.
You guys are too serving some bourbon.
They're serving it.
So,
they are serving it.
Yeah,
we're enjoying it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So Tim and Sean chimed in.
Cheers.
You guys, everybody.
Thank you, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for being with the Man Cave.